let's go, let's go.
Today we're here for the opening day of Fright Fest 2024 at Six Flags Over Texas. And this year's a very special year for Fright Fest, as for the first time ever, Six Flags is bringing in IPs to their parks, making this year's event what Six Flags is calling Fright Fest Extreme. So in today's video, we're giving you a first look of the event, everything you need to know before you visit, and the final verdict of is this event worth it. So stay tuned. If you've never been to a Fright Fest event in Over Texas, let me explain it real quick. While the park is decorated all day, the actual Fright Fest event does not start until 7 p.m. So beforehand, if you don't want to get scared, you can enjoy all the attractions, and you can bring your kids. But as you get closer to 7 p.m., the park sends out announcements letting you know it's almost time for Fright Fest. With about 30 minutes to spare, we decided to spend our time here at El Asadero for a very special Fright Fest version of the attraction, containing blood red water, which you can experience if you visit this attraction during the Fright Fest season. And now, time for the Awakening, the very first show of Fright Fest and also the one that kicks off the entire event.
And the awakening has commenced. You will no longer have a safe place to hide. Thank you.
With the Awakening now complete, the scare zones in the entire park are now active. Meaning we got 4 new scare zones to check out, and we're going to find out which one's the scariest and contains the most amount of scare actors. So starting off, we have the Gotham City section with Goblin Attack Squad, an area themed to 1980s punk rock goblins that slide their way into scaring you and don't hesitate to get close to your face or stalk you. This scare zone also contains a show with scare actors called Goblin Attack Squad The Revenge Tour, where essentially in that area behind Joker, the goblins pull off some stunts by sliding around and interact with the guests. While the costumes are really cool and fit the vibe, it's definitely not the most themed scare zone, and instead it's just the area with the monsters. And if we're on the quest to find the scariest scare zone, I'm going to give this scare zone a 4. The scare actors were absolutely amazing though and deserve all the credit. So regardless, it's still an area to check out, but it's not the scariest if you're looking for the scariest one.
And home to 2 of the biggest houses here, IPs, The Conjuring Universe and Stranger Things, both located right behind Harley Quinn's Insanity.
Since we're on the topic of haunted houses, let's talk about what we have in store for this year's Fright Fest event. This year we have 8 all-new houses with 5 special IP houses, which is some of the most IPs compared to other Six Flags parks that only got like 2 or 3. Not to mention we got 3 pretty unique original houses that we'll get into full detail later. But in the meantime, if you're wondering about the prices, a daily individual ticket to experience all 8 houses will set you back $35, which is actually not that bad compared to other Six Flags parks. As like I said, we'll get you into every haunt including the IPs. The next price above that is $80, and that's for the Express Pass, which will help you skip the lines on all the haunts. But the last price above that is $149, and that's for the whole season pass, allowing you access to all the haunts for the remainder of Fright Fest for this year. But with all that settled and clarified, let's start heading over to the next section.
We're currently in the trick-or-treat scare zone, and like I said, literally just fog, but just about nothing else.
The tower section is supposed to be home to the next scare zone, which is Trick or Treat, an area based off of the IP. And from the day that I went, for some reason this scare zone wasn't active, which is definitely weird because we saw the Trick or Treat characters at the Awakening. But when I was making that video during this visit, there were no scare actors in sight, and with the lack of theming, the scariest part was waiting for something to pop out, but nothing ever did. So I gotta give the scare level a 1. Hopefully if you're watching this, the Trick or Treat area actually is staffed up and will contain scare actors, but in my visit, it wasn't.
Also, once Fright Fest starts, all the kiddie attractions are shut down.
On the bright side, while the Trick or Treat scare area was pretty vacant, the haunt itself right here in Texas Arena was operational. And while during our visit, Saw was closed as it was the opening weekend, Over Texas did say that on September 20th, Saw will be open to the public. So if you're watching this video right now, it should be open.
One really cool opportunity that we just got, the park hours extended here at Over Texas. Usually they close around 8 or 9. Because of Fright Fest, they close at 11. So a lot of the attractions are having extended operation, including the oil derrick. It's almost 9 p.m. right now and it's open. So you can actually have night views of the entire DFW area, which is a pretty rare sight, and you should definitely take advantage if you're going to be here during the event. What's even more rare is the fact that both floors are open. Both elevators are operating, and you're able to either go on the top floor or bottom floor through the use of some stairs. An amazing and unique experience you can never really get.
Leaving the oil derrick and heading on our way to the next scare zone, there is a few things to check out in the Texas section, which of course is the Next Haun and an original haunt called Unearth. Themed to underground caves and mines, this haunt was created this year with a custom facade and clearly was the most popular haunt in the night, which honestly kind of surprising as it's an original house and non-IP. Regardless, when you walk past it, you can hear lots of screams and noises from inside. And while I wish I could show you a POV of this house, Over Texas has strict rules about cameras and phones while inside the haunts, so sadly the only way to know what's inside of it is doing it yourself. Continuing on in the area next to Rodeo, we have the Tiki It Easy Bar, which is also the exit to another original house in Over Texas, Terra at the Polynesian Palm. Like I said earlier, I can't show you the POV of the house because of regulations, but earlier this year I was invited to Scream Break 2024 at Over Texas, which gave me an inside look of the haunted house, and here's a few little clips of what you'll probably see when you go through the haunt, including raw pig meat, poisonous flowers that spray at you, zombie residents of the Polynesian Palm, and so much more. To summarize, definitely the most themed haunted house, to the point of even having scents like pineapple smells inside the haunt. Plus, the theme is very creative and you get very claustrophobic as the walls are very tight, leaving for lots of areas to get jump scared immediately, and it's one of the more lengthy houses in the park. So if you're brave enough, you can check it out at Fright Fest. If you're not a fan of the haunts or scare zones and just want some plain old entertainment, when you reach the Zombie Cowboys, you'll know you'll enter Dead Man's Crossing, an hourly show that brings a frightening twist to the typical gunfighter show. Starting off all innocent with goofy robbers going into Dead Man's Crossing, which slowly ramps up as they encounter a zombie sheriff, get jumped by undead cowboys, and of course not a gunfighter show without the guns. Not to mention it's interactive. So if you're in the Texas section, every hour this show happens, and you can just stop by and check it out if you dare. If you're in the Texas section and you see guests running, be warned because you're now approaching another scare zone, which is Chainsaw Alley, the pathway going into Titan. This is by far one of the more active scare zones as chainsaw-wielding farmers stalk and hunt you. A few things to know about this scare zone: it's definitely one of the more themed ones, containing monster pit bulls, broken down cars, and an overall Texas apocalypse. And despite the minimal amount of scare actors, they definitely bring the maximum amount of scares. Also, if you're wondering why Chainsaw Alley, it's because right after the scare zone, we have our next IP house, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right next to Titan Q. This one also had a big queue line, so definitely keep that in mind for your next Fright Fest visit. Regardless, I give this one a scare level of 9, as scare actors really did their job of scaring you well, and unlike Trick or Treat, was pretty staffed up and was themed really good. So a little piece of advice: if you're going to go to Titan, you might have to walk through a couple chainsaw wielders first. Now leaving the Texas section, if you head in direction towards JB Smokehouse or Runaway Mountain, you'll encounter the hotspot for Oktoberfest. And as you can see, they're fully decked out with lots of corn or fall theming. Here's a place to check out all the Oktoberfest dining options, and also see another entertainment venue, Dr. H.H. Holmes' Freak Show, in the Southern Palace. But keeping up with that circus theme, if you go into the France section, we have our fourth and final scare zone, the Freak Show. If you're scared of clowns or creepy circuses, this is not a scare zone for you. And actually contain the most amount of scare actors for the night, all with very unique costuming, including a snake man, a tall ringleader, a blind fortune teller with one eye, and a creepy clown with another clown. The area scared us the most, as a lot of scare actors here get really active, and do not hesitate to chase you down or stalk you. I give this scare level a 10, as it is the most themed scare zone containing lots of props, interactive features, and overall truly is a scare zone. Only downside is that it's pretty easy to miss, as the France area doesn't contain a lot of foot traffic, compared to other areas like the Tower section or Gotham City. But if you're going to check out JB Smokehouse or go to Runaway Mountain, take the France area to encounter the Freak Show. As our day came to an end, there were a few fun things to check out. While the Mexico section didn't have any scare zones or haunted houses, they did have a Dia de los Muertos show with phenomenal dancers. And not to mention, the Mexico area is really well themed for this. We also checked out the final of the 8 houses, which is another original house, Reject Row Rain Check, and Majestic Theater next to Texas Skyscraper. This one has some pretty cool outdoor theming, and from what we heard, has amazing theming inside as well. Plus, the line was pretty long, so I'm assuming it was popular and pretty good. But of course, you're gonna have to check it out yourself. Anyways, for the final verdict of how good Fright Fest is this year, there are some pros and cons to think about. Some pros is the 8 all-new haunted houses, with lots of IPs and a lot of unique original houses that could stack up to other parks, and even rival Magic Mountain, as I heard their haunts weren't necessarily the best, and guests were charged a lot for that. So meanwhile, over here in Over Texas, $35 for one day of visiting all 8 houses, pretty good deal. As for the scare zones, it is a con. There were some really standout locations, and all the characters did an amazing job, but the staffing weren't there. There could have been some more themed scare zones, and a lot more scares, so if you're really looking into that, I'll honestly admit that it's not really that scary. Maybe throughout the event, the scare zones will become a lot bigger and contain more actors, as I heard the main reason for that was lack of staffing, and who knows, maybe throughout the season we get more hired. But again, not that scary. As for the houses, besides Polynesian Palm, I can't really give you much advice about the inside of the house, as it's really mixed. But again, $35 is not that bad. Shows did a phenomenal job this year, and that's a huge pro, as they were really creative and unique, and actually brought back entertainment for Over Texas besides the rides, which is a huge plus. With all that in the air, I do think we have a pretty solid Fright Fest event this year, and the IPs will truly make the season very unique. The addition of IPs is just a huge jump from Six Flags alone, and this could solely be a starting point to better Fright Fest in the future. So overall, it was decent and I had a great time. And if you're looking to visit Fright Fest this year, you have from now all the way up to early November to experience this rare season this year. If you want to see more videos like this, or enjoyed today's video, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to know when new videos come out on my channel. I appreciate all of y'all and thank you for watching. This is JB Thrills signing out.